What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. TikTok has become quite a offensive weapon for many ladies in the social media business. Many people make pretty decent money. They are expanding their social media base. But you know what? A lot of social media people are very transparent with their lives. As a YouTuber, I talk about things in my life in the past, but I don't really post things about my personal relationships and stuff like that. It's my own personal choice, but some people do. And there is a young lady by the name of Pearl Maynard. Now, according to what I see from certain articles, her past is very indicative of many African-American women in our country. She's educated, possesses a master's degree, and before going full-time on social media, from what I've been told, she was earning well over six figures. Now, she did close down, got that business because the social media business was more lucrative. She's currently a travel blogger. I'm not sure if, for those of you who watch her, that's what they've said, but she's been doing pretty well thus far. Okay. Now, we would think a lady like her, with a lot of opportunities available for her, then how do we get to the point that she is marrying a man who spent 15 years in prison? Now, I want to say this. I don't know what the brother's circumstance was. Okay. I don't know if he was, let's say, wrongfully convicted, if he was guilty. But I do know, for whatever reason, he has been behind bars for that time. And she has been documenting their time outside of his prison sentence. She's been taking him to the Nike outlet. She's been taking him to get pedicures. And there are people on both TikTok and Twitter who are reacting negatively to the content that she has been posting. And some people believe that, well, you know what? She has low self-esteem and she cannot compete for a man that is doing a lot better. So she has few romantic choices. So she's settling for this guy. All right. And, you know, there's a saying amongst African-American women that, you know, they don't want to settle for less. Okay, they can do bad all by themselves and stuff like this. And then what you'll turn around and see is something, not all the time, but it's not shocking when you see stuff like this. Okay. And it's not shocking when you see a lot of black women who do very well, sometimes, you know, very, very, very attractive, dating men who have gotten out of prison. And like I said, I don't have any problems with guys who've made a mistake, who are now trying to change their lives. And it could be the case with this young brother. I'm not sure. But what I can say is I want to borrow a quote from Coach Corey Wayne. All right. And it's not his original quote, but he's made it sort of famous. In life, you get what you can negotiate. That's pretty much what it is. OK. And I think that coming into a good middle class life or upper middle class life for a lot of us who, you know, like I said, we come from, it could be possibly underprivileged environments. And now that we find ourselves in the upper middle class, we forget that things have to change and that competition is still fierce. Many of us are okay with earning money, competing for that money and doing very well. But in our romantic lives, those same people don't have that same confidence in finding a mate that they do in the romantic circles. This is the reason why you see so many guys, most, you know, going after, you know, sometimes poor girls, guys going after unaccomplished guys. It could be to make themselves feel better or because they want to feel needed. And what has to happen is that just because you're making $100,000 a year, you still got to put yourself in the position to be around people who are doing fairly well. And a lot of women that make good money, they don't understand how important it is to continue to do so. This is why Kevin Samuels' Average at Best video was so powerful, because you had a lady who made $100,000 a year. She was a single mom and she wanted a guy that was doing very well. But guess what? She couldn't get one. She got tired of paying for guys. She got tired of guys being broke. And do you want to know why? No effort, or you could not appeal to the higher sector of guys. And again, the more money that you make and the more money that men have, it's a different story. Men are not really looking for women who make a whole lot of money as their own, personal choice. If a guy makes $250,000 a year and you make $100,000, there are a lot of things that he's going to look at from you. One, ultimately being what you look like. If you're a woman that happens not to be very beautiful or very attractive or take care of yourself, that's something to look into, because you're going to have women of all races and creeds who are going to look very nice. Men have that option, the guys who really understand how the game works. So you'll have some women who might not want to compete for those guys at that level. And they deal with what they're comfortable with, which are the guys who are, trying to rebound, are the guys who've been to prison sometimes, are the guys who've been dealing in some kind of felonious activities. You'll get that. And sometimes you wonder, how does a lady have that makes 6 figures a year ends up with a guy who's been in prison all his life? It's simple. Can't negotiate for the man on her level. Or maybe that is the guy on her level. Just because she makes a lot of money doesn't mean that guy isn't on her level, because that's what she can get. You get what you can negotiate. And the only way you get competitive guys is to be a competitive woman competing in a competitive environment. No man is going to come across you and say, damn, you make $200,000 a year, I want to be with you, but a guy who don't have anything. Like a guy that just come out of prison ain't got nothing, he would definitely take that for sure. But no guy who's a provider, a guy who's really doing well, he's not going to take that. There's a certain level of competition that these women have to do. And I think stories like this prove to the fact that, hey, a lot of ladies just don't want to compete, are afraid to compete. So let me get in where I fit in. And then, they want to use excuses like, oh, well, he's sexy. Oh, I love bad guys. Or maybe the reality is that you get what you can negotiate. You can't do better than what you're doing. And I think ultimately, for some ladies, or many ladies, it comes down to self-esteem issue. Why can't you do better than what you've been striving to do? Why? And it's no offense to anybody, but you know what? As a black man who's doing very well, if I were relegated to dealing with some lady that has a 15-year prison sentence, and this is what I can do, me personally, nothing against women in prison, I would feel pretty bad about myself. That's just me. But what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at all-time high. I'm out.